Now today, I am going to be exploring one of the new maps coming to Star Wars Battlefront 2 in January. If you don't know what I'm talking about, hear me out. A piece from the latest community transmission from Star Wars Battlefront 2 reads this: January brings sequel trilogy Capital Supremacy and 2 new heroes. In January, we're excited to bring Capital Supremacy to the sequel era. That means 2 new capital ships to defend or bring down, the MC-85 of the Resistance and the Resurgent class Star Destroyer. The massive vessels will station themselves above the high agency ground battles taking place on the new jungle planet from Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker and Jakku. The same 2 locations are coming to offline instant action as well. So that's right, while the Resistance's MC-85 can be seen a few times in the game from the outside, the Resurgent class Star Destroyer can be seen from the outside too, but also from the inside. If you play Starfighter Assault, you can fly around the Star Destroyer, like I said, but that's not what you're going to be doing in Capital Supremacy. Capital Supremacy doesn't feature any actual space combat where you are flying the ship yourself. And how do I know this is going to be one of the new maps? Well, it's a bit like the Venator situation with the prequel Capital Supremacy. When we got our first map, when we got Geonosis, the inside of the Venator was very much like the Venator from the 3rd phase of Galactic Assault on Kashyyyk, and that's because they are the same ship, except the version on Capital Supremacy was expanded. You could go more in depth and just explore the place in general, whereas in Galactic Assault it's very restricting on where you can go, and most of it you can just look down these huge corridors from a distance. You can't go through any of the doors, so it's going to be the same for the Resurgent class Star Destroyer. What we actually see in the final mission of the campaign expansion from Battlefront 2, so Resurrection, in the final mission you go aboard this Star Destroyer, and it would be very unlikely that they wouldn't use this map for the actual online version, considering, well, it's right there in the game and they did the same with the Venator. So as I explored this, it's very important to keep in mind the main objective of actually this level in the campaign, and that is to reach the hyperdrive generator and destroy it. Destroying something aboard a capital ship, does that seem familiar at all? Yes, of course it does. Capital Supremacy involves that. The whole objective is to take down the other team's capital ship. Now, while destroying the hyperdrive generator wouldn't destroy the ship in general, it would stop the ship from being able to go into hyperspace. Obviously, from that, they could maybe do some sort of cutscene which would involve the ship being destroyed. I don't know, but it is plausible that maybe Capital Supremacy in the sequel era will work differently. And for the Resurgent class Star Destroyer and the MC-85 of the Resistance, the main objective will be to destroy the hyperdrive generators so neither ship can flee the system. Like in The Last Jedi, when the MC-85 runs out of fuel and it can't go into hyperspace for the entire movie, maybe this game mode could work a little differently for the sequel trilogy, and the main objective might not be to completely destroy the opposing team's ship. But I was just looking around on this final mission. It's the only mission where you actually get to go inside a First Order Star Destroyer, and I have to say, I may not be the biggest fan of the sequel trilogy, but the design is absolutely amazing. It's very different to a Republic Star Destroyer, and also very different to an Imperial Star Destroyer as well. I suppose the Republic ones were called Venators, but you get my point here. Now, I don't know if it's the extra lighting, I don't know what it is, but this is a very different environment. There's a lot of combinations of just red, blue and white when it comes to lighting around doors or lighting on the walls and everything like that. That is a fantastic combination for me, and I suppose the combination of lighting that the other 2 eras lack, which makes this one its own. And it's very close quarters combat on board this as well. The Republic Venator and the Separatist Dreadnought are very open in the first phase, and while they do have their corridors and everything like that that do allow for that close quarter combat, they are both like very open maps, I would say, and that allows for a lot of sniping to take place, especially during that first phase. And then apart from the few corridors, it is just all out in the open, everything happening. Whereas when it comes to the First Order Star Destroyer, there's corridor after corridor after corridor, and it's only really when you come out to the hyperdrive generator that you've got this more open layout, but even then, there's a lot of cover up top where the balconies are. The hyperdrive generator itself offers a lot of cover, and it is much harder to hit your enemies. So already here, we've got a phase of capital supremacy that is working completely differently from the one we've already got. And that is something we could most likely see as well when this game mode comes to the original trilogy, which, like I've said a bunch of times now, a lot of people are with me on this one as well. It's going to come to the original trilogy 100%. While not confirmed, they're not going to miss out the originals. As well, it's the most popular trilogy, so are they really going to miss it out? Come on, they're not. But let's stay on topic here. So like I was saying, close quarters. There's a lot of rooms that I don't know if it would be a case of, because you've got like these small rooms aboard the First Order Star Destroyer where it's kind of just where you go for weapons in the campaign, and you got to go out the same door you came in and stuff like that. Now, I don't know if this was added to Capital Supremacy, if they would just make those rooms like out of bounds or the doors wouldn't open, anything like that. But it would be interesting to have these little doorways you can go into, something you don't really have once again on the Venator or the Dreadnought that are in the game currently, where you can just hide in there, get your health back, and then come back out. And something else I was thinking was, a lot of us have said for pretty much ever since this game came out, where is the campaign content making its way into the multiplayer? You've got Pilio, you've got Vardos, you've got this Star Destroyer itself, and here is the opportunity now for that content from the campaign to make its entrance into the online content. You have to think about this. Heroes vs Villains has had the most maps added to it. Them confirming the sequel trilogy for Capital Supremacy basically confirms 2 more H3V maps, because they'll probably do it the same as they did with the prequels and end up adding both the Resistance and the First Order capital ships to H3V, maybe even other modes, and then down the line they could do the same when it comes to the Galactic Civil War or the original trilogy. And what does adding a campaign map to the online world give us? It gives us a chance for a few references here and there to events that took place in the campaign, stuff like that. Be very interesting. They could always switch up the map as well. It wouldn't exactly have to be identical, and most importantly, it would be an expansion upon the original map. Like I said with the Venator on Kashyyyk, it's an expansion upon that. It won't just be the campaign map and that's it, because that would be pretty small, and I think they would need to add some more open areas. While it's cool having the close quarters everywhere, it's a lot of close quarters, like I said, so some open areas may need to be added in order for this to work. But I think it's quite exciting really, and it's been overlooked by a lot of people, that we are basically getting a sneak peek here of one of the new maps. From a certain point of view, it's not even a fully new map that's coming to the game, but I think this is exciting. It's nice to look at something that isn't fully expanded upon yet in the online world, but it's there in the single player world. Unfortunately, the Resistance ship is not present in the single player whatsoever. You can see it in cutscenes from the outside, like I said, but there's nothing inside that I could give you a look at, unfortunately, because that would have been cool. So that map is going to be like the Separatist Dreadnought, and it's going to be built from the ground up, unless there's something they're not telling us and it was originally planned for the campaign. We haven't seen the Resistance ship whatsoever yet. But we are going to end it there, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me, do you like this map? Did you forget it even existed? Because admittedly I kind of forgot it existed, and then it came to me a few days ago and I thought I should make a video on this. So I do hope you enjoyed. I'm looking forward to seeing both the MC-85 and the Resurgent class Star Destroyer in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I shall see you all next time.